Hi, I'm Kevin Mahan.
And I'm Sam Chaplin.
I host the Attitude Era podcast.
And I haven't seen any films.
And welcome to Cinema Swirl. Hello everyone, welcome to Cinema Swirl, episode number 12. Or Season 2, Episode 2.
SO2, EO2.
Going with it, mate.
Yeah.
Full force. Hello, once again, it's our traipse through Tinseltown. I'm Kevin Mahan, joined by my OTP and a man who's seen none of the films, Sam Chaplin. How's it going, Sam?
Hello, very well, thank you.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, you've had a good run recently. You enjoyed Rocky, huh?
I did enjoy Rocky.
Can I say, a lot of people noticed, and I think so too, that Rocky was probably the most fun we ever had doing Cinema Swirl.
Yeah, I'd say so. Yeah.
I go as far as to say it's the most fun I've ever had podcasting.
Wow.
Well,
okay.
that,
Big claim.
And I podcasted in my pants once, so, you know.
So, this episode
might
not live up to those.
Might know that, you know, unfortunately, both of us are wearing trousers.
Yeah.
But that's not going to stop us from taking some Hollywood classics and putting them in a dumb blender. So yeah, we got very little admin to take care of this week, which is nice.
Cool.
It was a Harrison Ford special.
Yes, because you might be listening to this later on. We decided this at the time when he crashed a World War II fighter plane.
I did not know this detail of the story.
I'm sure it is.
I heard it was a plane. I didn't know he fucking crashed the
Wright
like
Brothers
plane.
Like an old plane into a golf course.
He ran out of corn oil and his thing just fell out of the sky.
I saw this unfold on Twitter as it was happening, as it was being reported.
Harrison was live tweeting, was it?
Well, no, it was like...
Hashtag altitude.
Reports are coming in that Harrison Ford has been in a plane crash and is in critical condition. And that usually is the start of what later becomes Harrison Ford is dead.
Because someone pointed out to me, they're like, oh, wasn't it meant to be like, because they come in threes, isn't that what they said?
Yeah.
And we had other, celebs pass away recently, so we thought, oh, Harrison Ford's time was up, like, but
then the story developed into, he's had a plane crash, but he's alright, he's just got like a cut on his head.
Like, if there ever was a way in which a news story about a man crashing a plane in a public place could become and on the lighter side of things... They managed to spin this story to have all the fucking vigour of a puppy learning how to do CPR or something like that.
There were so many silly goofs about this with, the Millennium Falcon in this golf course.
For fuck's sake.
There's so many photoshopped images of that thing and, quotes from Star Wars. And
I bet you're glad you've done this podcast now because...
I now get the reference.
You would have been like, why is that like...
What kind of plane was he flying?
No one didn't fly. It's got no wings. It's just a disc. So yeah, we decided, for those of you who don't know, our new season of Cinema Swirl, as we're blindly calling it, is going to be having themed votes as opposed to before, where we were having kind of a general fan rolling vote with popular movies staying in. And so we did Harrison Ford special.
Yep.
Because he'd done a crash of his plane.
Yeah. Topical,
timeless. Timeless. It's a good thing that he's a pretty big deal in Hollywood, otherwise he wouldn't get away with this.
Yeah.
Because Harrison Ford, often cited as being the greatest, or at least the most successful actor.
Yes. Not necessarily cited as being the greatest
Empire
actor.
named him the greatest actor of all time, as far as I know. Yeah. Empire is like my only frame of reference, because I'm never going to claim to be someone who knows a lot about movies. That's obviously not the case if you've been listening to this podcast. But I'm a man who read his Empire magazine now and then.
Empire is sort of the enemy of film.
Yeah, basically, it's the point of reference. I'll see what Empire has to say about it before I make my judgment on this movie. Don't want to say it's too good or too bad. Before we get into talking about the man himself, let's have a little dip into the mailbag. Insert mailbag jingle here.
It doesn't exist.
Well, if not with that fucking attitude.
Okay, well, yeah.
If you want Sam to have a nice little diddly-do for every time we go into the mailbag, like they do on those other podcasts, tweet him at Sam Chaplin. But these are you're in it now. I've dropped you right in it. These emails, of course, sent as always to cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
That's cinemaswirl@gmail.com.
And of course, we do read all your questions, comments, queries, and backhanded compliments which you sent here. Thank you very much.
Like, comment, and subscribe. If you...
Paul Altazin writes to us, "Hello there, lads. I was curious if you were ever shown someone a film that is universally regarded as a classic or really good, and they didn't like it for no particular reason. Well, I showed this fucker over here, Back to the Future. And in the process, stopped liking that movie myself. So
yeah, I've cursed you to not like it.
You're a Wes Anderson head. You're a hashtag Anderson nut.
Yeah, I've showed what I would say is probably my go-to favourite movie, The Royal Tenenbaums.
Because I think that is just like, if you don't... Because there's a lot of movies like, I always use the example of like, I don't know, Lost in Translation, something like that. That is critically acclaimed. But if you sit down and watch it with someone, it's a bit of a crapshoot if they like it or not. But Royal Tenenbaums, that's fucking lovely.
It is lovely. I think it's a very strong film, very funny.
Ooh, that's a very good critical word.
Yeah, strong movie.
Strong
film.
Powerful movie.
Well written. I could talk about Wes Anderson for a while, but that's the thing that I've shown to like ladies. I'm like, oh, let's watch a film, and then tactically, like, I've put Royal Tenenbaums on to be like, if you don't like this, then probably in the long run,
this is
not going to be all right. Yeah.
No, that's I get that. Like,
Yeah. Whereas if someone like loves it, I'll be okay. That's a good start. It's not a basis for a relationship.
So have you I don't get it. Mate. Marriage is falling apart. She likes the Royal Tenenbaums.
How could this be going
wrong? What else is I going to do? Like, but if you were showing to anyone, they were just like,
yeah.
Does that happen a lot?
Yeah. Well, like you can tell when someone like
doesn't get it or doesn't like it,
or knows that you want them to like it, so is acting like they like it.
Yeah, there's
like
a big pressure on that, isn't there?
If you get a gift that you don't want, but you got to be nice and be like, oh, yeah,
it's the same, yeah.
That's what I've always wanted. It's like, yeah, it was good film,
arty. That's what we touched on before, though, isn't it?
Yeah.
The kind of the pressure to enjoy things.
Yeah,
I think it's one thing we've probably avoided on this, given the nature of our relationship, that I don't think that when we're watching these movies, I'm not looking over going, oh, I hope he likes it.
Yeah, your expectations of me are so low that it's...
I don't know what my expectations are, in fairness, you know? I've been shot on this a good few times, so yeah.
But Back to the Future is the one where everyone on Twitter and stuff has been like, why does Sam not like that? That's the main one. Where
the two ones that I actually poll people about this. What would the reactions that surprise you the most? At Cinema Swirl on Twitter, if you've got one of those things, you know, if you got one of those blue birds,
come at me, fuckers.
come at me, fuckers. I asked people what the biggest surprise was, and everyone said Back to the Future. The only other one people mentioned was Big Lebowski, because people didn't think you'd like it.
Oh, okay.
So there you go.
That's nice.
There you go. That's good, yeah. Got one here from Cody Guest, who's asking if you've seen Toy Story. Have you?
Yes, I have.
Yeah, of course. You've dated ladies, you know, so you've invariably watched all the Pixars.
Yeah, no, yeah, pretty much.
That's just a given thing. I don't know how it is over in America, but if you are in the United Kingdom and you go through a process of courtship, you will watch a lot of Pixar movies.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not saying that's a gender specific, it's just a couple
it's just
thing.
Yeah.
You know, that will happen.
Yeah.
So you have seen Toy Story.
Yeah, I think I've seen most Pixar films apart from like Cars 2.
Oh man.
I've even seen Cars.
For fuck's sake!
Yeah, I've seen Cars.
So, but you haven't seen Who Framed Roger Rabbit? No, I think we...
No.
Yeah, I think we will do an animation swirl soon. Yeah, as one of the votes. So yeah, thanks for that one. And Eric Johnson writes, very excited for the second season of Cinema Swirl. Yes! Yeah! The people have accepted this!
Oh, that's nice.
Have you guys thought about fully milking the swirl teeth and doing a commentary track? We do commentary tracks in the Out Here podcast. I always didn't know about doing commentary tracks for Cinema Swirl, because obviously the whole point of this is you watching a movie for the first time that is a Hollywood classic.
Yeah.
That being said, it was my birthday recently, and you just bought me Star Wars: The Clone Wars, the film on Blu-ray.
I did.
And part of me is thinking, you know, if we watch universally agreed as shit movies, which you have seen before, because you've seen a couple. Like,
yeah.
Then I don't know. That would be the only way I would consider doing it.
Hey gang, would you be interested in that?
If you were, you know, like I don't know, like the likes of Plan 9 or The Room. But there's loads of like classically shit movies which I know we'd have a blast watching. Mm-hmm. There may be scope there. If you're interested, think it's an idea, there's a tweet at Cinema Swirl.
Also, someone sent a link to Pepsi Man.
Pepsi Man, yes, on the Dreamcast.
The video game.
Yeah, drink Pepsi, do it now.
I want there to be something where we just play that. I don't know what that would be.
An extended Pepsi Swirl that is actually a Let's Play series on YouTube playing.
Not for any money, I just think that would be fun to
Definitely,
that
would be good.
Yeah.
Right, well that's into the mailbag. Time to talk about, the man himself, Harrison Ford. As we mentioned recently in the news, not the kind you like. There's no such thing as bad publicity, except for when you crash a plane.
Crashy Ford, yeah.
Crashy Ford.
Yeah.
If he crashed into a fjord, the ball would have been right in their court, the tabloids.
Harris in fjord.
Harris in fjord. It would have been... Dan, you had to hit the golf course,
Yeah.
So, bar Star Wars, which we've now seen 2 of.
Yep.
What do you know Harrison Ford from?
I think we've been over this in Star Wars, and it's kind of nothing. I know he.
Well, I know
is
you didn't
in
know
Indiana
what he did in Star Wars, but actually, him in other movies. Have you seen him in literally anything else?
Oh, the Indiana Jones Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Right. So that's our kind of...
Yeah. I mean, this is a unique one because I've seen the worst sequel towards the end.
Well, I'm kind of counting, this may seem very harsh, but I would regard Indiana Jones 4 as being, Indiana Jones 4 is to the original trilogy, is what Star Wars The Clone Wars is. So
it's not what Star Wars Episode 1 Phantom Menace is.
I think it's worse,
It's what Clone... Okay, so it's really shit.
Yeah.
I seem to remember sort of enjoying the ludicrousy of it.
I mean, I suppose at least I had the benefit of childhood with Episode 1. That's how I'm judging this,
But
so...
Ray Winston said, Jones. Yeah, that was fun. Him being blown up in a fridge.
Yeah.
Kate Blanchett's character.
You never forget Kate Blanchett, do you? As the sexy Russian. Yeah. So you've seen that film.
Yeah, well, might watch that again.
So we're definitely then...
I was going to say when I get home. I am home.
You are home.
Yeah.
Harrison Ford, though, Star Wars is...
Pretty much, yeah, that's what I know. Harrison Ford has been in... Well, I know the 3 films that we've put up for the vote.
Yeah,
we have Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Air Force One, What Lies Beneath, Hollywood Homicide.
What?
I just put in a shit one.
Film.
A Witness. He's in Apocalypse Now. He's really young. He was in that. American Graffiti. He is a beloved man.
No, I know he is a acclaimed actor.
I was wondering though if you had, because he's not someone who's in TV shows or anything like that though. Harrison Ford is a strictly Hollywood A-list.
He's a film actor.
And he's someone who's even if he's been in a few duds, his stock has never dropped really in Hollywood. I don't think he's someone who had a rough couple of years.
Is he doing stuff recently?
Yeah. He's doing new Star Wars movies, isn't he?
Apart from that?
He's doing a new Indiana Jones and a new Blade Runner as well.
He's doing a new Indiana Jones?
Yeah, Indiana
They're
Jones
doing
5.
another one?
I could be wrong there, but Indiana Jones 5 is definitely something that's on the table.
Right, well, I was under the impression that Shia LaBeouf was being set up to be the new Indiana Jones. And I would be sorely disappointed if that's not the case.
Sadly not. So you remember Shia LaBeouf then?
Of course I do.
What was your favourite part of... Because it's Indiana Jones is... And the Raiders of the Lost Ark, which won this vote by a country mile. I thought Blade Runner would have maybe had a chance in this, but in terms of movies with strong childhood associations,
we had a lot of votes. By the way,
we had a lot of votes,
record numbers,
over 300.
Holy shit!
I like that. I think it's a good idea to keep it I don't know. I'm liking the focused votes.
Yeah,
because people are more vastly interested.
But people are very impassioned about this. There was a lot of just Raiders. Obviously, Raiders. It was
Raiders.
No, I don't think anyone said Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah, it's referred to as
Raiders.
I call it Raiders of the Lost Ark still.
Square.
I mean, for me though, Indiana Jones was a big thing growing up because he had the Young Indiana Jones Chronicles, as they used to show.
Like cartoon?
Wasn't a cartoon.
Okay.
So it was a live action deal, and Harrison Ford appeared in an episode as older Indy with younger Indy.
Okay.
But how did you not see Indiana Jones growing up?
Well. Now,
it's always on, particularly British television. ITV always show this thing.
We don't have ITV in my household, mate. We've taken the 3 out of the remote. No, that's not true. Right, now, I have a theory, because midweek, when we were talking about this, I was like, oh, this will be interesting, because you don't like Indiana Jones, do you? And you were like, yeah, I do. I like it. I was like, no, you said you don't like it. You said you don't like Indiana Jones. And you're like, no, I like
I like it, but I'm not like.
I think later I've realised that it was my dad who really doesn't like Indiana Jones at all. Now, the fact that I got those two opinions mixed up is some kind of Freudian nightmare. But yeah, my dad really is not into Indiana Jones at all.
I bet you're really happy I'm not doing this one in my pants now. This would be all kinds of fucked up, like.
Yeah, so he doesn't like it. So I think maybe.
Why doesn't your dad like it?
He just like, meh. I was like, is that kind of adventure thing? He's like, no, it's not for me.
Oh, a bit too much whimsy for me. Like.
I guess so. I don't know, but he really doesn't like it. So maybe that's why I've not been.
Wasn't put on because I know my dad was mad into it. Like,
so if you got like a dad who's like, yeah, Indiana Jones, you'll see Indiana Jones, whereas. I didn't have that.
Whereas your dad comes in, sees you with the Indiana Jones poster, like, what are you doing? Like, rips it down, like, not in my house. You want to be a bum? Go live in the street, you freak. Like, Indiana Jones is whimsy in a jar. Because it's takes all the great stuff of, like, you know, temples and mystery and mystique and adventure and, you know, guns and dames and heroes and Nazis and mystical unknown, and it puts it all together in this. It basically takes all the goods that came from, like, B movies and, like, serials, all the stuff that old people had to watch because it was in black and white and not proper. Takes all that. And it
puts colour on it.
Puts colour on it, and money and effects and Hollywoods it up to make it kind of like, wow, you know.
Yeah.
It is basically, it's the movie that was made that I think that, because George Lucas and Steven Spielberg at the helm, it's the movie I think that they wanted as kids.
Yeah. Okay, so they just made their dream movie, basically.
Yeah, and I mean, that kind of like thing, it is like, it's made for it's for fathers and sons kind of thing, isn't it? Like, you know, it's just, it's fuel for that. But what drew you to watch Indiana Jones 4?
Well, I have a lot of friends who like movies.
I love this. I have a lot of friends.
I have a lot of friends.
No, that's funny. You know, I was mentioning that to my girlfriend the other week as well, actually. You know,
you've got a girlfriend.
Yeah, no. My girlfriend that I have, I was talking to her about you, who has a lot of friends.
Yeah. Well, I was saying the same thing to my lovely wife the other day. No, I've got friends who like Indiana Jones. We kind of, as a little group, would go to see films. That's the group of people I went to see Star Wars: The Clone Wars.
So this group obviously didn't take your input very seriously.
Well, like no, they were like, we're going to go and see Star Wars: The Clone Wars because it's going to be. Well, I don't think they knew how rubbish it was going to be.
Yeah,
I went along with it. And the same thing for Crystal Skull, and also the same thing for the Shia LaBeouf film Eagle Eye. Which I can't really remember anything of other than it was absolutely shite.
Just for record's sake then, was there an instance of them trying to give you a potted history of the first 3 Indiana Jones movies on the bus there or whatever?
Not really, no.
Some mates, these are.
No, I was happy to just watch it.
In ignorance.
Really. Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Friends.
I watched the final Harry Potter movie on opening night at midnight in a room full of people who loved Harry Potter. I was sat next to, like, I was on the end of the row of my group of friends, and then someone else sat next to me who was dressed in a wizard's robe, and at the end was like openly weeping.
Oh, fuck off! Grow up!
And I was just there like, I have no interest in this, but this is great because I'm just surrounded by people who are really passionate about something that I don't really care about, and I had a great time.
Like, I think it's going to be like, because you and I will probably go see the new Star Wars movie.
Yeah.
And even though, admittedly, you know, me, massive fan growing up, you know, pretty much left my fandom, you know, with my high-pitched voice, as we've mentioned previously, you know, as a part of growing up. So it's very, very interesting to go and see those movies where it means a lot more to people than you. So, on the basis of that, Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark. Who's Indiana Jones, first of all? Because it's interesting to see now if Indiana Jones 4... Because I'm sure you can tell me, like, what outfit Kate Blanchett was wearing, but can you tell me what...
Like a jumpsuit, blue. And like big boots, like black,
What is Indiana Jones? What is he?
Right, is he kind of like an archaeologist almost?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
He's an academic in a way.
Part-time.
Yeah. So he wants to find relics and things that he can then, you know, for education, for the greater good.
He's not in it for the dollar then?
Probably is in it for the dollar.
Do you think he's a scoundrel like Han Solo is, or?
No. I think he's a cheeky chappy.
A cheeky chappy.
He's lively.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, we came to him in Indy 4, towards the end of his kind of career.
I think it's safe to say in Indy 4 he had passed his peak.
Yeah.
Indy had.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit. Indiana Jones and the Raiders of the Lost Ark.
So he's an archaeologist. He's an architect. He's going to build a big ark.
He is. He's an architect, and he's going to bury into the tomb of Vandalay Industries. And so okay.
Archaeologists. So he's looking for like this lost ark.
Okay.
I assume.
What's a lost ark?
Some kind of biblical reference. I don't know.
Because this is funny because I think like this might be a thing where you didn't have a very religious upbringing, did you?
No, not at all.
Yeah, no. Even though I keep calling you Protestant and
I'm not.
jokingly asking you for Tiffin, he's not Cottony, folks. You know. So the Lost Ark. Any idea what that could be? It is a religious.
Is it a religious thing?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's religious artifacts
of religious significance. Yeah.
Okay. I'm not sure what it is.
Don't know
a religious thing.
Yeah.
And it's an ark.
Yeah.
No.
What are you thinking?
It's not. It's not the only famous ark, is it?
The only famous ark?
One of the main famous arks.
Are you saying Noah's Ark?
Yeah. It's not Noah's Ark, is it? Is it Noah's Ark?
No. Okay. I will admit, I had so much fun with Adrian last week. But I can't, even in my giddiest of forms...
Indiana Jones is going after Noah's Ark.
I can't let you sit in here thinking he's going after the Lost Ark. Oh no, he's been attacked by 2 of every Nazi animal, you know, and it's not happening. No.
Why are there Nazis in it?
They're Nazis, yeah.
Why?
Because it's set in the 40s.
Right. So he's there in the world mid World War II.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know what the Lost Ark is.
But Nazis want it. That's all I'll tell
I know
you.
what Nazis are.
Do you?
Yeah.
What are they? Great chaps from Call of Duty.
Really want to say bad Germans.
Bad Germans. Well, I mean, in a sense, yeah, they were bad Germans.
Yeah, well, they're the Nazis.
The rotters.
They're the Nazi people.
What's your experience of Nazis in film? Because you've not seen many war movies, so I'm trying to think.
No.
Any? Have you seen many Nazis on screen before?
I've seen Hitler in that.
Inglourious Basterds.
In Inglourious Basterds and in. Yeah, that's like the main Nazi movie I've seen.
That can't be the first time you saw Nazis.
No, it's not the first time I saw Nazis. I've seen that Downfall video. I'm sure there's been Nazis in The Simpsons at some point.
Yeah, there's always Nazis in The Simpsons.
Yeah. Every episode. When have I seen Nazis? You see Nazis because you'd learn about it at school. So, joke's on you, mister.
It's funny, you might be one of the few people who probably has a relatively accurate estimation of what Nazis are like, because it seems that your knowledge of Nazis comes mostly from school.
Yeah, where they actually tell you what happened. Yeah.
The clip from Downfall.
Yep.
Indiana Jones is an interesting one for me, because I adore the movie, but again, like a Terminator or whatnot, I've seen this one a million times, loved it to bits, but I never was consumed by the fandom around it, if you know what I mean.
Does someone's face melt?
Explain. That is a big one. Yeah, someone's face does melt. Why does their face melt?
I don't know. I know someone's face. I know there's a big boulder.
Yeah.
I know someone's face gets really melted.
There's a big boulder.
And Indiana Jones is running away from it.
Do you know the Indiana Jones theme song?
I didn't, but now I do. That's the thing. The other day I was like, shit, I don't know what it is. Is it
Yeah. You are giving it all like the kind of triumph of Black Beauty there, you know. So you know the theme. You know face melting.
Face melting.
Big boulder.
He runs away from a big boulder. It looks like a kind of. Is he in kind of like an Aztec/jungle level type thing of the real world? See,
I'm worried now that you're just picking bits from various indie movies. Yeah. Because that could be said of multiple instances. Okay. You know, so, yeah. Careful now, you know?
Okay, so face melting and big boulder.
Face melting, big boulder. Whose face melts?
Nazi face? Is it Nazi's face?
Yeah, Nazi
good.
Face. Good.
You know what, Kevin? Good.
Yeah, you know what? Politically correct or not, I was going to say, if I see a Nazi, I want his bloody face to well melt. Yeah? So there you go. Yeah. Take that to the bank. But yeah, for me, like, Indiana Jones stuck with me a lot though because had this on VHS, big Saturday movie. Obviously, was watched a lot. Obviously, as well, the Indiana Jones point-and-click games. LucasArts made those.
Okay.
They're fucking lovely.
Is this film gonna be like the iOS game Temple Run?
Of all the movies we've seen so far, it'll be the closest to the iOS game Temple Run. If I'm to be quite frank.
Okay.
What kind of movie do you think it is? Do you think it's going to be like?
I know it's an adventure movie. I know that's what it is.
I mean, like tone-wise, though, are you thinking like, yay, or you know?
Well, like from Indy 4, I know it's going to be a bit daft. I don't think even Indy 4 was trying to be that daft, but he did get blown up in
Indy
a.
4.
I just remember him being blown up in a fridge.
Yeah.
And then there's like a gopher
I
or
remember
something.
his CG monkeys and that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah.
That movie, Indy 4, and it's the last we'll speak of it.
And Shia LaBeouf with each foot on a different like Jeep or something.
Yeah. And then the guy with and I'm thinking of all these random bits because for me, Indy 4 was always.
There were aliens in that film.
Yeah.
There were aliens.
Sorry, spoiler alert. It was aliens.
It was aliens all along.
Well, it seemed to me that was a movie that was just a series of events of two lads desperately trying to come up with something as cool as a Nazi's face melting.
Yeah.
And failing vastly along the way, you know.
Okay, so is the Nazi face melt like peak film? Is that like the climax?
I'm going to say. I mean, in terms of things that happens in this movie,
it's an important one.
Well, I'm not going to go here and I'm not going to stand here and give you a barefaced lie and say no. There's loads of better things than a Nazi's face melting.
There's loads of Nazis.
I'm worried that us just going Nazi's face melting, that we're not giving that the triumphant.
Yeah.
You know, that's a big deal.
Yeah.
A Nazi's face melting. You know.
Yeah.
If the Allies could have done that back in the day, it's a completely different story, you know? I get the vague sense that you're very unsure about this one. That, like, I don't know if you think you're going to enjoy it or not.
Okay, so plot, right? Indiana Jones, archaeologist, wants to get a thing to write about or to get the money from.
He wants the Ark.
He wants the Ark.
Which is not Noah's Ark because I'm kind.
Okay, thank you. But also Nazis want it, so it's like a kind of rat race situation where they're all trying to get the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
At the end, there's a big fight with the Nazis. He punches a Nazi, and his face melts. The end.
The end, like, now you have all the information to go and watch Indiana Jones 4. Okay, I'm pretty interested to see what you make of this one.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Alright, let's go do a cinema swirl. England. England. Hey, this is great. It's fucking St. Patrick's Day. We're recording this. Got people at home going, "Oh, are you ever coming home to Ireland, Kefin?" There he is, singing football chants with a Protestant. There we go. Indie Game the movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Yeah.
Initial gut reactions.
Indie Game the movie. That was fun. Yeah. That was a fun knockabout silly movie, wasn't it? That was a blast. But I don't have that. Yeah. I don't have that.
This was not the fist pumping adrenaline rush that a lot of the other.
No.
We're like because I can read a room after a movie's been played.
The visceral reaction is not
rocky
fucking
kind of. Yeah.
It's a bit dampened slightly. Not for any reason. Just my visceral reaction is just yeah.
Good. Yeah, you heard it here first. Right, well, this is actually interesting because this is another movie by obviously Steven Spielberg, who is a man who we've dipped our toe in before.
So he directed,
executive produced though by our old friend George Lucas.
And George Lucas co-wrote it?
No, it was co-written by Spielberg and another guy.
Co-storied it.
Yeah, co-storied it. So yeah. So, but Lucasfilm made it, and George Lucas was the executive producer.
Okay, so it's a team effort.
It's a team effort. Two of the Hollywood titans, joining forces, basically, So yeah, Steven Spielberg I wondered if you'd pick up on it, the fact that both of these men are involved in the movie. Because there's a number of things about this to make it very much like same blood type as Star Wars.
Yeah.
Like the music in this movie, for instance. Did you
find John Williams?
Yeah. Very much a similar, even like the love score in this, the love music is almost identical to the one they use in Star Wars. Even sound effects.
Yeah.
I don't know if you notice, like, say, planes when they're starting up made a bit of a TIE fighter-y, like kind of.
Bit.
Yeah. Interesting now. So we open up in the jungle. You were right, Sam.
It's the jungle level.
It is the jungle level. Do you want to tell people the fun story behind that song?
Is there a fun story behind that song?
What's the number I told you, like, gave you a list of levels for a hypothetical game?
Yeah. That was a while ago. Well, that bit of music originally started out as 8-bit music.
Yeah.
Because Kevin, I'd made some, and Kevin said, do different levels, and that was my jungle level one.
Did you made an ice one as well, or did I imagine
think so.
that? Yeah.
Yeah.
We could, our game, like Cinema Swirl the game, on the App Store.
Yeah.
We've got the music sorted.
Yeah.
But we don't have the concept nailed just yet. But
the music's the most important part.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So we meet the main man himself, Indiana Jones, who is a modern day Catwoman man. He whips a lad, basically. It's the first thing he's doing.
Well, we see his bum before we see his face. That's like the first thing we see of Indiana Jones is just his
the outfit of the outfit of Indiana Jones, the hat, the whip, the messenger bag.
Yeah.
Do you think he's a fashionable gent?
Well, it's stock adventurer garb, isn't it? It's the
all adventurers which I think wear fedoras.
I don't know whether that came from Indiana Jones or whether Indiana Jones took that from something else. The kind of that's what an adventurer. Looks
it's
like.
the kind of the serials and stuff like we mentioned that they were kind of this was an homage to.
Like
so definitely,
you can see Indiana Jones on the cover of a dusty book from the 1930s or something.
Yeah,
like an adventurer man.
Lads Annual 1936.
Yeah, exactly. It's that exact look.
Definitely.
Yeah.
I tried as I might. I can't hate him for wearing that hat.
No,
it's too iconic.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're used to seeing him in it. He
looks cool.
Yeah. He is the exception. He's the only person. I saw a fucking teacher the other day.
Is it a fedora?
It's
kind of
one of those hats. Some arsehole will buy that and say it's a fedora.
It's a big hat.
Someone would sell it as a fedora.
Yeah.
Someone wearing that was trying to look like something they're not.
Yeah.
Like, I was in a museum recently and there was a teacher there with a group of school children. And the teacher had a fucking fedora on him.
Oh no!
And I thought, you're being taught wrong. I don't even know what subject they've got you for, but it's wrong. Poor guys. The whip must be the most ungainly weapon.
Yeah.
Think about it. Was that something you would grab for if you were to go adventuring?
Yes, but just to look cool. It's not
he uses
practical.
It like twice in the whole movie.
Yeah, but it's cool, isn't it?
It is. It's cool. It's got a cool sound effect. Yeah. He is nothing if not a whippy man, and he whips it real good in this one. So they're exploring a tomb. He's kind of you get this nice intro to the character. You're not really sure what his deal is at this point.
Yeah.
Other than he is very much Tomb Raider at this point.
Yeah. That's where I realised I was getting all of my kind of what this world looks like references from is kind of from Tomb Raider. Really.
You a Tomb Raider fan then?
Well, yeah. I mean, I didn't see a scene where Indiana Jones locks the
butler in the
freezer, but
more or less same thing though, isn't it? So like the tomb, right off the bat, you see in the tomb that there is, even though this is very much like a PG Saturday afternoon movie, there is still a lot of instances of grotesque imagery.
Yeah,
particularly with dead body
corpse thing, big scary corpse. When they go into that creepy cave, and there's creepy crawlies in the creepy cave.
He's like, look out! There's creepy crawlies from the creepy cave all over. It's gross.
Yeah.
How do spiders? I know you're quite ookish about a lot of things. And when the spiders came on screen, you actually were.
Yeah,
mention.
Me and spiders is Indian snakes, basically.
Really?
Yeah,
fuzzy spiders, particularly.
But if it's a big fuzzy spider, it's not so bad. But it's little, small. Well, not smaller, but not fuzzy spiders. They're
unfuzzy spiders.
Yeah, just spiders.
Just generally.
Fucking spiders. They're horrible.
Fucking spiders.
Yeah, if you want to upset me, show me a spider.
If Sam was still off looking for the Ark, it would probably be in a tomb full of spiders.
I wouldn't go down.
No,
no, I'm going home. I don't get how that there's that little trap thing with the scary corpse and the spikes.
Yes.
Right. Now, how is that activated by light or something? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I literally don't understand the mechanics of it.
I'm not sure how. I mean, I don't understand the mechanics. It's like a light. I don't know.
You just put your hand on the light and then you get hit by spikes.
Any explanation?
This is not Sonic
have,
2.
Yeah, I'm serious. Any explanation I'd have would either have to be like A, explain it from a video game perspective, or B, that
it just happens.
It just happens.
Yeah.
So tweet us if you know.
Yeah.
At Cinemas Row. But I would say most of the traps in this have been laid out in a manner which makes it very... I mean, like, it shoots a dart that goes to just beside my head. That's fortunate, you know. It would have been a very short movie had, designers of these traps put, a little bit more thought into it, maybe, you know.
He's there with his little mate, isn't he? His little
pal.
Yeah, who I instantly thought, he's going to die at some point, his little mate. I thought he'd last longer, this little lad.
This little fella.
Yeah. His little intern.
The unpaid intern.
I got your Starbucks, Mr. Jones. But yeah, so he does the thing with... What's the thing he's got? The
idol.
Yeah,
the idol's there. My friend, actually, I got him for his birthday one year.
Got that
as a money bank.
Oh, that's cute.
So I jokingly nick all his money.
Yeah.
It's fun. It's great.
But Indiana Jones does the hotel minibar trick and just puts something of equal weight in the same place.
Yeah, wait a minute. You've just pulled up the ring pole from that can filled full of tap water. Very smart. That was another one which has been referenced a load of times.
Yeah. I've seen that before. The switch.
The switch.
And then the realization that the switch didn't work.
Yeah, also lovingly recreated in like LucasArts games many times. Yeah. Sam and Max hit the road for one. Indy.
So that sinks down, and then they have to run away from Big Boulder, don't they?
And I always think at this point, right?
Is it Boulder at that point?
Yeah, the big boulder comes down, and I always think at this point, Indy's kind of shot himself in the foot here. If I was to go on such an expedition, I would just bring a ream of really expendable interns with me. Like that. Because he's doing all this dodgy stuff. I'm like, let's send the intern. You know, get them to do it.
He's too proud.
Literally, let's learn from the intern's mistakes and not get killed. And, it may take 20 or 30, but we'll get there in the end,
Yeah. So then rope swinging across things, which is such an action-adventure type thing.
And a perfectly spherical boulder. Where did they get that?
Yeah.
Shining that thing up. I was watching this scene, and it's iconic,
Yeah.
It is Phil, him running around, being chased by the thing. You immediately thought of The Simpsons.
I did, yeah.
Doing
with
that
Bart
bit.
rolling under the thing, getting his hat.
But for the life of me, I couldn't not imagine the scene where the Screwball Scrabble music playing now. I don't know why I've gotten on the brain recently. I think I need to get it and complete it just to be done with it. But anytime I see any sort of circle, any sort of sphere causing a panic,
a ruckus. Yeah.
All it's just I'm just hearing that Screwball Scrabble music non-stop. No. Indy gets betrayed by a man who promptly dies.
Yeah.
So good call there. You called it.
Yeah, he died. The thing about his little mate, I don't know what his name is, but when Indiana Jones is going up to do the swap, there is a moment where he's kind of walking up the steps and kind of nearly stumbles over. And so much goes like that, like a dad. Oh, nearly. Ooh. That was just a sweet human moment between me and that guy who then died.
And after betraying someone.
Yeah.
So you can fucking pick him. Yeah. Oh, he's a nice one. I wonder if he'll betray Indiana Jones then die.
We don't have time to argue. Throw the thing. Adios, senor.
So we meet the arch rival of Indiana Jones, Dr. Bastard. Yes. Well, his name is Belloc, but we're going to call him Bollocks.
Mr. Bollock. Yeah.
Mr. Bollock. Because he's a right bollock in this one.
He gets the thing off Indiana Jones because he can communicate with the indigenous people.
There you go.
Yeah.
Look at you desperately searching for a politically correct term.
He gets the thing, and Indiana Jones sneaks off. When he's got the thing, Bollock is just like,
look how happy he is.
I've got the thing. I want to see someone react like that on Antiques Roadshow.
I mean, it's worth a lot, isn't it? But Bollock he's a trilingual sort.
Yeah.
He's basically all of the archetype villains of Hollywood rolled into one.
Yeah.
He's a Frenchman working for the Nazis. Fucking try and process that for a second.
That was Steven Spielberg and George Lucas being like, who's the rival
Who do we
here?
hate the
A
most?
Frenchman, a German, both.
You're up nights on days trying to figure out who to stick it in. Like, what if they were a German, Nazi, French
Nazi working man.
Perfect.
Done. Put it in the script.
Put it in the script. That's detestable and relatable, right?
Yeah.
So the natives chase Indy. He manages to escape.
He swings on a vine just into the river. That's just like what you do when you're a kid.
His escape is really daring. He's like, oh, awesome. But once he hits that water, like, I dare Hollywood to show me a grown man in full clothes, including a hat, swimming gracefully away. It's not happening, you know. So mad props for them making him look like a silly dad.
Yeah,
who's going in, you know.
It's quite cute.
There's a big snake, Jock.
Yeah, Harrison Ford's in this plane with his pilot.
Yeah,
I guess you don't see any more of him. He's just that. He's there for that.
Jock. He's got a t-shirt that says "Air Pirates."
There's a big snake. There's
a big snake. Now you know, Jock. You and I had a conversation
that I don't like snakes.
I don't like snakes.
I've said it once. I'll say it 1,000 times. I don't like snakes.
And the guy's like, geez, Indy, well, you know, in this line of work, hopefully you won't run across many more snakes.
Yeah, and he gets distracted and crashes into a golf course at that point.
It's good to know that his phobia is before you find out what the fuck he's doing or who he is, you know? Who is this man who hates snakes?
Exposition, he's just getting things and he hates snakes.
Yeah, he's just some sort of international snake avoider.
Yeah.
You know, he manages to get all this treasure and swag in the process of avoiding snakes. Good job if you can get it, like. Yeah. So we find out that Indiana Jones is actually a university professor in a perplexing, weird university where students write "I love you" on their eyes.
All these girls looking at him like that, like with their arms on their cheeks, and then like that's fine. It's not subtle, but it's like all the girls fancy Indiana Jones. Okay, I understand that. No, not far enough. Someone has to have "love you" written on their fucking eyelids.
Yeah.
To get the point across. I mean,
he's a hunk.
He's a handsome
like hunk teacher, and like in all universities, this has got a bell in it. Like, you know, you're in university detention, chaplain. But where's your homework?
The only one who leaves an apple is just a little lad, though. I think that's quite.
The fuck leaves an apple for university, you lecturer?
Yeah,
it's so weird.
And then his friend is it his friend?
He's the guy from the museum. So Indy basically the guy's in charge of the museum. Indy does his stuff, gets items for his museum. They buy them off him. Yeah. Everyone happy.
He takes the apple, shines it on his sleeve. I thought that was kind of
nice work if you can get it, like, you know, nicking apples. Well, I mean, he's got tenure, so he gets his own apples, really, you know. Indy meets these army buffs who have come to the university.
Yep. And
they've basically informed him that the Nazis have discovered the lost city of Tennis. And they plan to use the Staff of Ra, which, of course, Indy, he knows all about this. This scene is just non-stop exposition.
Yeah.
The Nazis love the occult. Not as much, though, as Hollywood loves the idea of Nazis loving the occult. Ooh, the Nazis love the occult. You know, lost the war because they spent too much time on the Ouija board, didn't they? You know? Hitler was actually a ghost, you know. But they want the Ark of the Covenant.
Yep, because they can use it as a big weapon, basically. That's the thing. Whoever has it, they'll win the war.
That's what I love about Nazis. They're obsessed with the occult, weren't they? Because the occult provides several vague ways to win the war, none of which are specified.
Yep, in a secret chamber.
We must find the ancient Nordic kings. Why? Because we'll win the war. How? I don't know. Read Hellboy. You know, it's confusing. But the Ark of the Covenant didn't hold two of every animal. Instead, it held.
I was disappointed.
You were disappointed. Yeah. Like, you thought they'd be like zombie hippos coming to get up.
I felt like the two army lads, that sat there when Indiana Jones saying, "Didn't either of you go to Sunday school?" I didn't go to Sunday school.
Me neither.
Don't know much about this. Well, I mean, I went to some religious thing.
So the Ark is explained. It is basically evil. You know.
Yeah. Bad Ark.
Of course, it's. I love most about it. It's like. It's meant to be like where the fucking 10 Commandments are. Holy God, right? Even in your most loosest sense, if you're a believer in such things, it's not meant to be evil. It's not something the Nazis should be running after with their arms out, like, you know. It's not like a delicious pie they show running for. I don't know, I find it quite strange, but Indy's got to go, and he's been hired essentially by the government to go get it before them because he knows how to get it. He doesn't think that they might know that. They know that they're in Marrakesh and they're digging a big hole. That's the extent of it.
So he's excited about this. This is an adventure for him.
He's mad excited about it. He says he doesn't buy into all this voodoo nonsense.
Yeah.
Superstitious hocus pocus like Jesus Christ. He's got a gun too. Like,
Yeah, he says like, I'm a cautious fellow and then tosses a gun into his suitcase. Which
the
is like
good old
visual.
days, isn't it? You know, take a couple of guns on a suitcase, you know, pop on a plane, you know.
Yeah.
Let's go to the Middle East with some guns on my plane. Like,
There's a lot of Harrison Ford on planes in this film.
A lot. And every time he gets on a plane, this motherfucker over here is tittering his head off, wondering if it's going to land in a fjord.
They go to Nepal?
Nepal, yeah.
Yeah.
So we cut to a drinking contest, which was probably your favourite part of the movie.
It's my favourite scene in any film ever. Really, just
because it's because of your man, isn't it?
the look on the bloke's face,
Like a bowed child who he's eating all the biscuits. He knows where they are as well.
So funny.
Big like grin on him.
Big weird face, just smirk.
He's a gross human being. And he's taking part in a fiery liquor drinking contest
with Marion,
who is the only woman in the movie.
Wait. Oh my God!
Salah's wife appears literally to say, "I'm his wife."
Yeah, pretty much.
She's the only woman in the movie.
Woman of any significance.
She's the only named woman in the movie.
Jesus.
Fucking hell.
That's...
So obviously, Steven Spielberg wasn't able to rein in. Well, we learned from Steven Spielberg in Jaws, if he has his way, there'll be no women in the movie.
Yeah.
And if there is one woman in the movie, and George Lucas has anything to say about it, you know.
Yeah.
So, yeah, right, we introduced to Marion, and I like the idea of introducing her in the drinking contest, where it's kind of like, all right, she's not your typical damsel in distress.
She's tough as nails.
She's tough as nails, but she will be used as a damsel in distress.
Oh, yeah.
It's just that she can drink hard liquor.
Yeah.
And,
still be really, like, completely lucid and fine and be able to talk.
Yeah, that's an odd gift.
Yeah.
Which I feel wasn't exploited to its fullest.
No.
But you get the feeling off the bat that this is one of these kind of... In the 80s when they thought they had, redefined, what women were in movies. It's like, just because you're sassy doesn't take away from the fact that you're just making her be the damsel in distress for the entire film.
Yeah.
There's a weird history between her and Indy.
Yeah, I don't like it because
it's phrased poorly.
What you did to me when I was a child and
I was just a kid back then. What you did to me was unforgivable. You knew what you were doing.
Yeah, it's like I did what I did. You don't have to be happy about it. Just help me now. Ugh, what did you do?
Victim blaming.
It's gross. I don't know what Indy did. I don't know if I.
All I know is he did something awful and then he lassoed his way out of there.
Yeah,
but. Ugh. The fact that this woman has had to move to Nepal to get away from this. Imagine fucking that, like. Think you're getting away from this prick and he shows up in Nepal. I'm like, leave me alone. It's the 40s. How did you get to Nepal?
Yeah.
That's strange. She has this amulet, the amulet which is needed for the staff of Ra, which is needed to find the location in the Chamber of Sorrows where the Ark is buried, that ate the cat, that hit the rat, that made the house.
And then you need the blue key to get into the door to get it.
Yeah, and he needs the crescent key for the moon door. That much is awful, is obvious. The Nazis come knocking. She says to Indy that she'll give him the amulet.
Yeah.
Tomorrow.
See you tomorrow, Indiana Jones. And he doesn't say anything.
Bloody women. They'll never give you your amulet when you want it, will they? They'll always make you wait till tomorrow. Gosh. If I had an amulet for every time a woman made me wait for an amulet.
But after that moment, like, Indy's giving her the money and she's got the amulet. She's literally like weighing up her options in front of her face and looking at the money and then at the amulet
actually weighs more, but does it have more?
No one does that in real life. They don't have two things to go, I wonder what.
Well, that's because we've apps now these days. Like,
I suppose we just do it on our phone, wouldn't we?
Just do it on your phone, wouldn't even, check Twitter.
Google how much is this amulet worth.
So the Nazis come knocking.
Yeah.
And you can tell they're Nazis because, he's wearing black leather in Nepal and he's got those Nazi glasses that Adam Bigelow wears now.
Yeah.
They they ruined those glasses, and anyone who wears those glasses these days,
It's a creepy Nazi scientist.
think that you're not a creepy Nazi scientist.
Yeah,
you are. And you need to stop wearing those
yeah.
glasses. You know, he's gonna do this whole thing with a hot poker. Basically.
Yeah.
He's very. Not, I've only seen these Nazis very briefly, and all of a sudden I'm not fond of them.
You know what? I don't think these Nazis are very nice.
I'm starting
nasty Nazis.
I'm starting to think the war effort in Germany isn't worth supporting at this moment in time. So yeah, they're basically they want the amulet as well for the same reason.
Yeah.
And before anything happened, Indy appears.
Yay!
It's good. Big old shootout.
Big shooty scene.
I do like a nice big shooty scene.
Yeah.
Thankfully, Indy managed to bring infinite ammo for his gun.
Yeah.
Bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
The guns in this scene go pew, like they do the gun noise. The pew. Yeah, and the kind of ricocheting, kind of old-fashioned gun noise. I like that.
I don't want to think that I'm complaining about the non-stop shooting and all that stuff. I like that.
Yeah.
It harkens back to a simpler time.
Yes.
You literally can't do it in a movie now. We've moved past that point.
Well, bang, bang, bang. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah.
Bang, 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 bang.
You can't do that. They have to show the guy reloading.
Yeah.
You know, and you know, all that kind of
breathing
stuff.
heavily.
But this movie, it's not. It harkens back to a simpler time.
Yeah.
I'm cool with it as a result.
Yeah.
He shoots a man on fire in the head.
No, I think that's a mercy kill. I think that's what that is. Well, that's
think?
how I read it. I read like, man is on fire. You don't want someone to burn to death. Shoot him in the head. Done.
That is actually, yeah.
That's how I thought. Maybe I'm just nice, and I'm like, that's why you would do that. You wouldn't let him continue to burn to death.
Well, if I'm burning to death,
I'll shoot you in the head.
Well, no, I'll say at least have a go at putting me out first.
No, straight away, good.
Because Indy, he didn't even look to see if there was a blanket around, or
No, he wanted him dead.
So,
but
it was a mercy killing. But he also wanted him to die.
Yeah.
So it's like. It's like a lot of mercy killing.
Yeah, it's like most mercy killing.
So yeah, him shooting a man on fire in the head though, it was kind of like, okay, this movie, it's not as kid friendly as I remembered it being.
No, that's a very violent scene.
Don't get me wrong, it's not like Terminator 2 kind of, but
no,
there is a serious PG. The PG should happen in this movie.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
The Nazi burns his hand on the hot amulet.
Yeah. And then just kind of dashes out through a window.
Yeah, I think they just love seeing that lad scream because he does it like,
Yep.
Is there any way we could fit another scene of the Nazis screaming his head off? What if he touched a hot plate?
Tries to cool it down on some snow. It's quite funny, really.
So he burns down the entire bar, which Marion owns, by the way. This is Marion's place.
Yeah, and she's remarkably flippant for someone whose place has just been burnt down. She's
and lucid for someone who just won a fucking drinking contest with a mountain man.
She's making quips, isn't she? She's
kind of like, well, you certainly burned down my place of business. And then she's like it or not, I'm your partner. It's like, oh, okay.
Okay. Cut to plane.
And,
let's go to Cairo.
Should we put out the fire or see if your stuff is fine?
That's done now.
Well,
my life here is over. I'm just going to go on an adventure.
Indy, you son of a... if I catch you burning down my home and place of business again. So, yeah, they get a plane.
Yeah.
Again, more Snickers from Sam this one.
Yep.
And they finally arrive in Tatooine to get the lost Ark in this instance, yeah? And this movie's got it all at this point now, because we got a heroic man who's looking to, get the treasure.
Yeah.
Sassy sidekick Dane.
Yeah.
And now there's a sassy monkey as well.
There's a cute monkey.
There's a cute little monkey in there.
What is this? Where did this animal come from? I like this animal. Oh, well, we will keep it now as an animal.
It is decided. And on that day, they took the monkey.
Just when there's a monkey in the... Is this Salah's wife?
Yeah, Salah's wife, yeah.
She's just saying, what is this? Where did this animal come from? Not this monkey.
What is this tiny human hairy thing doing here?
Oh.
Did you see the monkey heel turn villainous side coming? Did you see that?
I didn't see it coming, but it was amazing that this film has a fucking Nazi monkey.
Nazi monkey... Is it Nazi monkey... Monkey Nazi salute.
Yeah.
Monkey Nazi salute.
Or Nazi monkey salute.
Or Nazi monkey salute.
He's doing a monkey
Tweet
salute.
Use the hashtag Nazi monkey to... right, that is the greatest thing ever.
Yeah.
And a little monkey
doing
a Nazi salute. Because it's funny because the monkey's owner is just like, is evil dude with an eye patch, and he's like clearly not an actual Nazi, but he does the big over enthusiastic Nazi salute, and the guy's like, oh yeah,
Heil Hitler.
trying hard here, going for the full on Heil, even though it should have been a casual Heil. But that's topped immediately by the fact you got a fucking monkey doing it.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah,
I want to see other animals do Nazi salutes. Montage that shit, YouTube. So, many men attempt to jump Indiana Jones in the market.
Yeah, he has pretty much a slapstick fight with a bunch of Egyptians at this point.
Yeah, and they're kind of slipping on banana peels, accidentally stabbing themselves with swords.
Yeah.
What annoyed me at this point is that it's made very, very clear that Marion can't help Indy in any conceivable way and barely even keep herself safe.
Yeah, there's a bit where a man comes at her with a knife and she's got a frying pan and he's just going, ha 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 ha. So many scenes in this have people just going, ha ha ha.
It's a happy movie. A lot of laughing.
And then he chases her into a door. You hear a frying pan noise. And then she comes out and drags him out. It's like...
She was out of rolling pins, mate. I mean, yeah, I know.
It's proper daft.
It is, and then it starts being a thing which is like Indy trying to, fend it off himself, and then it's like, oh no, she's been kidnapped in a box.
But this silliness is worth it for the next scene where Indy faces off with what appears to be some kind of final boss.
As soon as this came, because I was all being outraged about Marion being shit in this movie.
Yeah.
But then this scene comes, and I'm like, I remember why I love this movie.
Yeah, and I was like, I genuinely said like, oh shit, this is the final boss. This is going to be a big thing.
A big
to-do. He gets out his massive sword, starts flinging it around,
and he's laughing as well. Isn't
he? Yeah. Like somebody's just won in Tekken.
You know what we should do? We should get some swords and knives and just have a proper big laugh. You know what? That's a Friday afternoon sorted, I think.
Yeah.
But what happens instead of this big massive fight?
Indy just shoots him.
I love it. Absolutely love it.
And I think I've seen people parody that before, but I didn't realise that was coming. And that's just hilarious.
They managed to encapsulate, anything fun you could do in a game, an online shooter or something like that. And they managed to encapsulate all that 20 years before even games like that were made and have it in one scene in the movie where you see someone's like, yeah, and bam, you're dead, actually.
It's so funny.
It's brilliant.
I know I'm late to the party here, but that is properly hilarious.
That is, I think, one of the funniest things in a film ever.
Yeah.
For me. It's golden cinema moments.
Yeah.
Do you know what the best thing about that is?
What?
Originally, it was meant to be the big, final boss.
Okay.
Big, huge, massive street fight. They were going to go everywhere, up into the roofs and all that kind of stuff. The guy himself is master swordsman who they brought in to Tunisia for this shoot. They either ran out of time or the schedules got mixed up, but they had to basically had to cut the scene. And apparently the guy was mad pissed off that because there is footage of I remember seeing a making of. There is footage of the actual fight that was meant to happen.
That makes it so much better.
The fact that the guy is unhappy about it as well. Yeah. He's like, mate, if you got the scene as you wanted, you wouldn't have been an iconic cinema moment. It would have been another scene. But it's the most memorable thing in the movie for me.
Yeah.
In any Indiana Jones movie. I'm not overstating it, hopefully, but it's so fucking funny.
It's perfect.
Basket madness. Don't you hate that level when the lady you're meant to save is trapped in a box?
Knock over all the baskets.
Knock over all the baskets. Yeah. Find them all. So she's put in a van full of dynamite, which then explodes. High explosives.
And then the van kind of tips up. And yeah.
Just kablamo. You blew it, Indy.
Yeah.
You literally blew it.
Yeah.
And he has a drink.
As soon as it explodes, you hang on it for a bit, and then it's just a cut to Indy looking sad and drunk.
And I really wish that I wanted the credits to scroll over him until he finished the drink, and then maybe go have a little sleep. Brilliant. Bollock! That meanie.
Yeah.
They have a confrontation in a little cafe in Cairo. He does look strongly like the man from Del Monte in this scene.
He does.
He
does.
He doesn't want Indiana Jones to find the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah.
Also doesn't want to buy his peaches because the man from Del Monte doesn't always say yes.
No.
Unless there's political intrigue involved.
There's some banter between these two lads in this scene.
Bit of back and forth.
The monkey comes along, hangs out with Indy, and Bollock says, "I see your taste in friends remains the same."
Way!
Right?
Lads.
That's some solid banter.
Seriously, he's a top lad, is Bollock.
Yeah, great stuff. Yeah,
He's got a great nickname and he's got great banter. He is a top lad.
Yeah. And later on, Bollock says, "I need to find a nemesis closer to my own level."
Applying the Indy shit.
Yeah, and Indy says, "Maybe you should try the sewer." Now, that is what's known as shit banter.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's trying to up the banter, but it just
I would even say that was so shit it doesn't even qualify as banter. That's idle chatter is what he's got there, you know. He's actually degraded and become so bad at it that it's just talk again.
Yeah,
it's lost.
They're just chatting. But that reminds me a lot of one of my favourite YouTube clips of all time. It was on TV, but it's Ricky Gervais introducing Bruce Willis at the Golden Globes by saying, "Ladies and gentlemen, Ashton Kutcher's dad, Bruce Willis." Now that's like a solid gag.
It's a gag and a half.
Great gag.
Yeah.
And Bruce Willis walks out onto the stage, has a long time to think
about what he's done and what he has to say.
Like, okay, if he just said nothing and then read out in the nominations, it would have been fine, and people would. If he pulled like a funny face,
and
it would be fine. But he chose to say one of the most complicated to say things that's possible, and he fucked up. He's trying to say, "Sometimes Hollywood does award you with outrageous good fortune." That is a difficult thing to say.
It also doesn't even make much sense.
So Bruce Willis just comes out and says, "Sometimes Hollywood does award you with outrageous good fortune, Ricky," like that. And that's just what this scene reminds me of.
What I'm thinking of here is that maybe Bruce Willis had his love interest blown up in a big high explosive van before that happened, and he wasn't, because Indy's not on form here. I mean, usually he's hitting them left and right.
That was weak.
That was weak.
Maybe you should try the sewer.
It was just banter, you know?
Just banter.
So he makes those cunning escape ever. Loads of kids come in, Sal's kids come in, like, protect him.
Yeah.
Which is the greatest villainous line ever. "Next time it'll take more than children to save you, Jones." Brilliant.
Yeah.
I'm sorry that I just gave him an English accent while I was doing that there, but it tends to happen.
Yeah.
This French Nazi is just English.
His
really.
accent does kind of go a little bit all over the place. Yeah.
Who is this man? Like, you know. So, all right, yeah. So they go back to Sal's place. You know, they're chilling. The bastard with the eye patch, the monkey's owner, he comes in.
Does the most old-fashioned poisoning you've ever seen.
This reminded me, this is like Bash Street Kids level of poisoning. Yeah. He comes in and he puts super spicy sauce on the dates.
Shakes it all over all the dates. Yeah.
It's got like a skull and crossbones on it. Like, oh, when he eats that, he'll knock him for 6, he will. And then we get a very tense scene as Indy comes closer and closer to eating a date.
Yeah.
Even, you know, I'll be honest, I fucking hate dates. So even if they weren't poisoned, that whole scene would have been, "No, don't put it in your mouth, it's gross."
That's probably why Salah was stopping.
It's just a weird big raisin.
Just grabs it and goes, "Bad date." And we've all had a few of those, am I right, lads?
Way! The monkey dies from dates as well.
Yep.
You know?
R.I.P. Nazi monkey.
I know.
One of the greatest characters.
R.I.P. in peace, old friend. So, Bollock is digging wrong. We know that he's using like a bootleg version, a pirated version of the amulet.
Yeah.
So they're digging in the completely wrong place.
Yeah.
That's what you get for not, you know, paying the license fee there, basically, mate. You know, so Indy and Co. sneak in and he does the Staff of Rabbit, which you realise that you know this from somewhere, don't you?
Well, before that, they go down into the hole, don't they?
Yeah.
Indy drops a stick down the hole, and there's a little special effects scene in that where the stick just goes in a complete straight line.
Yeah.
And I said to you, that is simply not good enough.
The standards.
No, but they could have literally dropped.
Sorry, not good enough for who? You?
For me.
Hollywood's?
I don't know. Just in
general.
My exact feeling at that time, I had to share that with you. That is simply not good enough.
I was going to say, these days they just CGI the stick.
No, they can melt a Nazi's face. They
Quite convincing.
You can't drop a stick in a hole and make it look cool.
Spend too much time melting Nazis' faces. You know, focus on the basics.
Exactly.
Get the simple stuff right first, guys.
Yeah.
If you can't drop a stick down a shaft convincingly, why are you making movies? You know,
Exactly.
maybe it's time for Spielberg and Lucas to hang up the old directing boots. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the staff of Rabbit, you recognise this from something, didn't you? What was that you recognised it from, Sam?
I think it was from Family Guy.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm sorry, everyone at home.
It's gross.
Yeah.
So it's very, very bright. All sorts of light beams shining everywhere. He finds out where it's going to be.
Yeah.
And he starts sweating profusely as well as soon as he finds out where it's going to be. Marion's alive as well. We found out that much.
Yeah, she's in a tent.
She's in a tent. And Indiana Jones opts to not save her. Because he's like there's a lot of screen time for you in the last scene, in the last act.
Yeah.
I thought.
Literally shut up and puts like the thing back in her mouth.
That's just enough women in this movie for now, thank you. You know.
Stop talking for a bit.
No saving for you.
Yeah.
So the Nazi with the dicky hand, he's here now as well.
He turns back up.
Turns back up.
Is she in the tent with Bollock?
Yeah, because basically Bollock's got the hots for her.
Yeah.
And he gets her a dress, and they do the whole thing where she's basically like, oh, she's going to drink him under the table. So they go and they start the dig. Indiana Jones, he's going to dig. And unfortunately, like an episode of Time Team, where you realise the act of digging in itself isn't really that interesting. You just see, Indy doesn't even dig. He just stands there as a bunch of other lads do it for him, you know. So the sky gets all freaky. Goes like a goth screensaver, I said.
Gets all weird and fake.
Very. Yeah. Very much so. Opens the tomb. The second he does, Salah goes, brah! I love Salah's voice. Seriously.
Great, yeah.
You compared him to Brian Blessed favourably.
Yeah, the voice of him saying, Indy, it's really kind of loud and British sounding. It sounds a lot like Brian Blessed.
I'm just saying, if I ever am in a situation where I might be opening the tomb that contains the Ark of the Covenant, I'll make sure to give O'Brien a call first.
Yeah, so he can come in and
come and say, bah! Excellent. Yes, but inside, not just the Ark of the Covenant, they've stumbled into Snake City, Missouri. Population...
a bunch of fucking snakes.
And Indy's like, snakes? Did you not see the opening scene? I fucking hate snakes. You know, he's the kettle's boiled.
Yeah, he kind of says it again, doesn't he? Why'd it have to be bloody snakes?
Why'd it have to be snakes? Why? What's the matter? I don't like snakes. Well, no one likes. I mean, I feel bad for him. Because everyone's like, come on, Indy, what's wrong? There's snakes. Come and join us.
Yeah.
No one likes snakes.
Well, but Indy's a tough guy, and he's okay with like spiders and heights and jumping over stuff and getting shot.
The only actual, this might be controversial, but the only actual trait that he seems to show, consistent with someone with a phobia of snakes, is him just saying, I don't like snakes a lot.
No, he looks at them funny when it looks at him.
Yeah, but he picks them up, throws them around, hits them, sets them on fire.
Yeah.
A phobia of a snake.
Oh no, he'd be in deep... He wouldn't be able to
I'm just saying, have you seen the people on Maury who've got weird phobias? Like, how shit would that episode of Maury been? Someone who's just scared of pickles. If someone brought out that weird pickle man and with all the pickles that they did,
he
and
stared at it for a bit
and
then threw him around.
And he threw him at, I don't like pickles. That's not good. I want to see the person physically, unable to
freezing
function.
up and being sick and all that. Yeah.
Like, get over it, Indy, is all I'm saying. You're alright. You can clearly handle some snakes. Yeah. Indy burns the snakes alive.
Yeah.
Seriously, like.
Quite dramatic.
And meanwhile, while all this is going on, Bollock is feeding Marion and gives
Back in Bollock's tent.
Back in Bollock's tent.
Yeah.
He starts feeding Marion food.
Yeah.
And he gives her a guna dress, which is a nice dress.
Oh, okay. Yeah, he does. He says, I'd like to see you in this, and then has a little perv at her back, doesn't he?
It's a bold move.
Yeah.
Asking someone to wear something on the first date.
Bollock's a big, bold back pervert.
It is. He's got a bit of a back fetish going on there. You know,
right old back look.
He is. He's a Bollock 269 over there on Clips for Sale. I see. He's logging in there, looking for his back stuff. You know. In fairness, of all the fetishes to have, it's a pretty decent one, isn't it? Like, you know,
it's one of the
a back. Everyone's got a back.
Yeah. And in fairness as well, the dress does look nice.
It is a nice dress.
It's a great dress.
It's a great dress.
I can't fault the dress.
Can't fault the dress, No, definitely not.
No.
So, Indy manages to get like kind of a semicircle of torches, so the snakes aren't going to bother him.
Yeah.
Him and Sal go over, and like, right. I know the most important part of the archaeological find isn't the outer housing or basically the packaging, you know. But they essentially do to this archaeological find what a child does with like a toy that's a beautiful box or something that's been really nicely wrapped, like ripping it up.
Yeah.
They pick up the housing and just literally destroy it.
Yeah, that's probably really valuable.
Probably.
But they're interested in that bloody ark.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. When Indy's there with all the snakes, and he's having a terrible time of it, I really wanted him to shout, "I'm a celebrity, get me out of here." I think that would have been a good way for him to get out of that scene.
Marion hustles Bollock at drinking.
Yeah, she does the pretending to be pissed trick.
It's good, it works. Yeah. It works very good.
As we know from before, she can handle her liquor.
She can handle her liquor, you know. She can't prevent herself from being kidnapped.
No.
But she cannot get drunk.
But she can drink like a bastard.
Yeah. And she drinks like a bastard. But before she even manages to get anything, the Dr. Nazi returns and
brings his coat hanger with him.
Yeah, his nunchuck coat hanger. Where can I get one of those? Do you have to be a Nazi? Because I mean, so. I'll be honest, that is a deal breaker for me. I mean, if I have to be a Nazi to get one of those coat hangers, I'll leave it as is. Yeah. You know, I already have.
If you can get those on Amazon, then maybe kind of want one.
Are you a Nazi? Like, you know, recommended for people who bought this coat hanger. Mein Kampf, like, you know. So they extract the Ark of the Covenant.
Yeah, it looks like a magic trick, is what it looks like.
And
the way it's
slowly
shot,
putting in.
Yeah. And then it floats away and there's no wires.
They do treat the Ark of the Covenant much in the way Paul Daniels treats his long-suffering wife, like, you know. But when it comes out, it looks like...
The Ark of Debbie McGee.
The Ark of Debbie McGee. The Ark of Debbie McGee, it looks quite like a... Or this may be out there, right? But have you ever ordered a lot of Chinese food?
I know exactly what you mean.
Do you? I don't know if this is the case in America, but in the UK, if you order a lot of Chinese food, I'm thinking either, you know, a family-sized portion or two lonely fat men's portions.
Yeah.
You know, I've been down both routes. Yeah. It'll come in like a kind of a gilded cardboard box.
Yeah.
With nice tapestry designs on the side.
It looks like that.
You know, it's hot and it smells of MSG.
Yeah.
But it is altogether, you know, a fancy affair. That's what the Ark of Debbie McGee looks like, I think. So, henceforth referred to as just that. Yeah. They all get caught.
Yeah. Well, Bollock's there with the Nazis, isn't he? And he's saying that they're not being careful enough in their approach. He says a line which is, "You'd use a bulldozer to find a china cup." Now that's a weird variant on bull in a china shop, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
I was like, I've not heard that before.
Well, I mean,
I've heard similar words used together.
That's true. Maybe it's because he's French.
It's a mistranslation.
You know.
You'd use a bulldozer to find a china.
You'd
cup.
use a bull to find a china shop, wouldn't you? Like, which archaeologists riding bulls around the place. Like. So yeah, they're all well caught. I mean, in fairness, they're digging on their site. Yeah. And the Nazis have got the planning permission.
Yeah.
So they knew it was going to...
Fair game, yeah.
You know. And none of them have got safety boots or hard hats on or high-vis jackets. So, I mean, it's a political nightmare here in terms of health and safety.
Different era.
Marion and Indy get locked in a tomb.
Yeah.
Full of snakes.
Yeah. Her shoe falls off and there's literally a snake in her boot, which is a nice little moment there.
Are you saying that it's foreshadowing Toy Story?
No, and it's not a boot either. So
it's not. It's an open toe high heel.
Yeah.
So you know, I worked in a shoe shop. Don't pull that shit on me. You know.
When you pull Woody's string, it says, "There's a snake in my open toe high heel."
You know. I like that Indy's one of his first three calls of action was to rip off Marion's dress.
Yeah. That's Bucks Fizz at Eurovision. all over
Seriously. Absolutely is what that is.
The old protecting you from catching fire excuse. We've all used that, haven't we?
The fire's going out, mate. Yeah, you know?
He's clutching at straws.
He's seriously
clutching at that dress and ripping it.
Like, I mean, I don't know what your end game here is, Indy, but honestly, you think you're going to have a last moment of passion, a room full of snakes isn't the place to do it.
No.
You know?
No.
Thankfully, though, the tomb is made of biscuits.
Yes. It's made of ancient Egyptian polystyrene. It just crumbles.
See, not only does the wall crumble, but this giant statue uses to smash the wall. It's wonky as fuck. Why would they put the Ark of the Covenant in such a shitty old room?
No, they've not thought it through.
They've not. This was obviously made during the period in the the ancient Egyptians were cutting corners, not using regulation stone, cutting corners, using cowboy builders instead of slaves to build their buildings, This week on Cowboy Slaves, this cowboy slave. Indy fights a giant Nazi hunk now, which is awesome.
He fights Tom Hardy as Charles Bronson, which is...
He basically, yeah. He's got a Bane quality to him,
and doing the kind of thing...
You merely adapted Nazism. I was born in it, raised by it, molded
He does
by
the fisticuffs gesture.
Yeah, he's put up your dukes.
Yeah, he needs like an old-fashioned bathing suit, that man, to complete his whole look.
I want to see him lift like dumbbells, the circular ones. Yeah. Maybe ride one of those weird-ass bikes. I want to see him in a black and white picture standing beside a really small man with a moustache.
Yeah, exactly.
That kind of thing. An oddity is what he is.
So he's just a strong Nazi that just happens to want to...
I said strong Nazi hunk.
Right, yeah.
Because, for the time, he's all man. You know what I'm saying? Marion mans the gunship. And in a pretty grotesque fist fight...
There's some serious fucking punching.
Serious, the Nazi, I was going to say he gets Mickey Rourked, but that doesn't maybe make much sense, because people might think, his career went off really bad. I'm referring to the bit in The Wrestler where he punches the cheese machine, you know? That's what happens to his face.
Yeah.
Lot of blood.
Lot of blood.
They went there,
That was a good scene.
Seriously.
In terms of a fight scene where the plane's kind of circling around and it's all a bit tense.
Because I can say at this moment now, moments like this...
Yeah.
It's what they were trying to replicate in Indy 4 when they were doing shit like, loads of ants coming and crawling into the guys', orifices and like that. Do you think that Indy 4... Because Indy 4 and Indy 1 so far...
Right. Here's the thing. In Indy 4, I reckon if they wanted to do a scene where they dropped a stick down a hole, they would fucking nail it.
Yeah.
It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say of Indy 4.
That's the best that Indy 4 could have.
They could drop a stick.
Foolishly, Indy 4 didn't have a stick dropping.
No stick dropping.
So no one really gave it any praise.
Didn't get the good reviews.
Yeah, didn't get those stars. So the Marion is pretty cool. See Marion gunning people down left and right. That's awesome. But then, I can't get out of the gunship. It's like, for fuck's sake.
Yeah.
Let her have one moment, mate. And in true Indy fashion, there's a big pile of fuel.
Yep.
So, big kaboom. Lots of kabooms in this movie.
Bang, bang, bang.
I like kabooms and kabangs.
Yeah.
I will say, though, at this point, usually when we're watching a movie there's kabooms and kabangs, we get a little chair movement, fist bumping from you, things of that nature.
Not so much in this one.
These booms and bangs weren't hitting their marks, if I do say so.
No. I don't know why. I can't pinpoint it.
Very interesting.
It didn't get me riled up in the same way that some of the other films have.
Maybe it's because they weren't, over the top.
Yeah.
They were all conceivable explosions.
I suppose. Like the truck with the high explosives on, that toppled over and it exploded. That's fully to be expected.
Yeah. It's interesting.
When there's fuel everywhere, things blow up.
It happens. See it coming. Indy decides to go after the Ark, which is being shipped away by the Nazis on man's greatest transportation, a horse.
Yeah, he says bye to Salah and Marion, and Salah says, "My friends, I'm so pleased you're not dead."
I wish I had a mate like him.
I'm just going to say that every time I meet anyone. I'm like, I'm so pleased you're not dead.
I don't think I believe you most of the time, if I'm honest. So this was there was parallels I thought between this and how John Matrix went after his daughter Jenny in the smash hit movie Commando.
Yeah.
Which to this day remains the least listened to episode of this podcast. Check it out, people. But, the fact he's in a slower vehicle, he hasn't got an engine.
It's a horse.
Neither John Matrix, it's a horse.
Well, it has got horsepower.
Yeah.
It has got a great deal of horsepower.
Very good. Horse. That would go over well on Top Gear, that kind of humour.
Where's my dinner?
And so, he runs after them on the horse. He even goes down the hill a little bit to gain a bit of momentum on them.
Yeah.
Like that. Sadly, though, because he's not in a truck, he isn't able to crash into them like John Matrix was.
No.
But, what follows is one of my favourite scenes in the movie. I love this big car chase.
It's good.
Lovely, beautifully put together.
Yeah.
Indy doesn't seem... I know, there's something about Indiana Jones that makes him really endearing as a hero is the fact that he always looks like he's getting the fucking shit knocked out of him.
Yeah.
He's always dusty. He's always got scrapes. And, he doesn't do, a big backflip or, a feat of strength. He does...
The man's an archaeologist.
That's it, yeah. And even though we have a scene now where he basically single-handedly takes out an entire troop of Nazis, you know...
Deep down, he's still just
it does have a sense of, well, if a bloke... He's doing it how most blokes in their head thought, if I was doing it, I'd probably do it like this.
Yeah.
You know, you can convince yourself you're capable of doing that, because he does no one thing that's unbelievable. It's just a series of like really like, oh yeah, fucking A, yeah, hit that guy.
Together, it's unbelievable.
Together, it's unbelievable.
The individual actions are believable.
Yeah, I think that's really cool about Indiana Jones. You know.
Yeah.
So he's in this shoddy ass van, which just starts slowly falling to bits as it goes on.
Kicks a man on the door, and the door just falls off. Pretty much.
Has no windscreen wipers. The grill's falling off.
Yeah.
The Mercedes-Benz logo even falls off. Now, are they having a pop at German? I mean, say what you will about you know Nazis or whatever.
Yeah.
But let's not fucking bring into disrepute the German car industry, because it's fucking awful. It's fucking awesome.
Let's not tar German engineering with the Nazi brush, you know?
Yeah, that's not fair, guys. No. Well, like, it seems you're like, no, yeah, and Mercedes-Benz is shit too. You're going overboard, mate, right? There's enough things wrong with the Nazis without having to have a pop at their cars as well, all right? You know? I should have bought American instead of this Nazi piece of junk.
Indy rolls up in a Camaro. Just like, yeah!
I need a Cadillac, goddammit! They all get safe. He gets the Ark. Everything's fine. Nazis get run off the road. I would have thought, bollock et al. Maybe you shouldn't have brought the town car while driving through the goddamn desert.
During that car chase, Nazis die in different ways.
Yeah.
And they vary a lot in severity.
Lands in like the sidecar motorcycle.
Falls in the water.
They fall in like a deep puddle.
Yeah, basically.
They roll around a bit, maybe scuff the knees.
Oh, I'm a bit wet.
Face.
Yeah. Oh, there's egg on my face. Another guy falls off a cliff.
In a van.
In a van to his death. Some of them just get off light, and it's
different shades of Nazis, I guess so.
Indy in the van, he's trying to hide. He drives into a market.
Oh yeah.
And hides in like a garage, and then everyone covers over the garage and holds up some melons. And
everyone's walking around with their fruit, like perfect.
When the Nazis come in and they offer them melons, one Nazi in a very kind of scene just
Jones
smashes a melon.
I hate watermelons.
And I've written on my notes Nazi throwing a melon, and then I've realised if you put that in quotes, and that would be a great YouTube video title.
Yeah, seriously.
That'd be a viral success.
That's a real BuzzFeed clickbait type.
Nazi throwing a melon. And what happens next?
This I've got to see.
Will blow
Top 10 reactions to Nazis throwing a melon. Like, you won't believe what happened when we showed these kids who grew up in the 90s a Nazi throwing a melon. So they decide to ship it away, get it safe. They're going with some pirates.
Yeah.
The captain of the ship, he says like, Indiana Jones, I've heard lots about you.
He's like, you look exactly how I imagined. What?
Mate,
it's not enough.
I'm starting to think that like most people in this movie are kind of in on a joke that Indy isn't.
I hope so.
Because everyone's he's not laughing, is he?
No.
Yeah.
No.
Maybe they're all having a snigger, kind of like going, "Oh yeah, you're Indiana Jones. I've heard a lot about you."
He's got "kick me" on his back.
Like a sign saying, "I crashed a plane on a public golf course" on his back. So yeah, on the ship, Indy is all bust up.
Yeah. Now there's a thing that happens here that happens in quite a lot of films and TV shows. In the Indy, right, would you say he's a tough man?
But he's human.
Yeah, but he can withstand a lot, right?
Yeah.
He can get really beaten up, and
you can take a licking and keep on ticking.
Yeah. All of these action buffs and these buffs,
buffs.
All these action men, these buff men, they can take a lot of pummeling.
Yeah,
they're all strong and withstand it up until their wounds are being nursed by a lady.
Well, at
that point they're like,
I'm gonna hit you with a fucking hardcore dose of GCSE basic minimum requirement science.
Okay. Here we go.
Because the adrenaline is gone.
Yeah.
Everyone in it now is tittering, going, unbelievable.
Wiki Answers over here.
I'm Yahoo Answers, and you know it, like. Oh. But yeah, he's all sore.
Yeah.
And Marion is like, where can I kiss this? Like, you can kiss here, I guess.
Yeah. Where it doesn't hurt, and he points to his elbow. And he points to his head. Now, a top lad would at this point point to the genital area. The gentleman's excuse me. But he doesn't do it.
And he doesn't do it.
Yeah, I was
He's more of a man for it.
bitterly disappointed in that, shit lad.
But she does eventually kiss him, and he falls asleep immediately after. Men, huh?
Yeah,
Bloody men.
That's a very PG version of, oh, man, eh?
Yeah, like it's what you imagine happens with your mum and dad. Like your mum gives your dad a big kiss. He goes, "Oh, I've had mine. Good night." Bloody bastard! He turned around, he went to sleep. He didn't even give me a kiss. Nazis pull over the boat for speeding.
Yeah.
Assumedly.
Yeah.
These Nazis, they're everywhere, aren't they?
They are. They don't give up.
Long arm of the German Reich.
Yeah.
How they fit so many Nazis on one tiny submarine?
I don't know.
I drew unfavourable comparisons between a German nuclear sub and a clown car at this point, which I didn't expect to be doing at this point.
They are clowns, aren't they, those Nazis?
I think so.
So
Subtle.
yeah.
Very good.
Thank
I
you.
like that.
Thank you.
Belloc kidnaps Marion again.
Yeah.
She's been kidnapped so many... Come on, like.
She's been passed back and forth quite a lot. Yeah.
Seriously, they're passing her around like currency, like,
In this Nazis versus pirates scene.
So, yeah, Indy's like hidden away and...
In his little hidey hole.
While
main pirate is saying, Jones is dead. I killed him. He's like, ooh. Ducks down.
Ducks down, yeah. So, they've taken the Ark. They've taken Marion.
Yeah.
Indiana Jones.
End of the film.
Indiana Jones very ungracefully stows away.
Yeah, well, we don't see him like swim away, but we see him get up onto the thing, and everyone's like celebrating, and the music's playing, but he's just stumbling around on a ship, kind of like waving at him, and then going.
He looks like a drunk who's fallen in a lay-by, all covered in water and sick.
Yeah, the music's a bit overly dramatic for him stumbling around on the ship. He hasn't won yet. That's what I said at that point.
Music, actually, as good a point as any.
Yeah,
because you love the music from Rocky. I know you love
Yeah.
all of the music in Rocky.
Yeah.
Star Wars, you were quite a fan of.
Yeah,
I think.
No, this is great music.
Yeah.
It's just I think in that scene it was just used a bit. It was too strong.
For
what the moment was.
For me, I don't know. This could have done with a little bit more kind of like subtle uses of, because like they only use the Indy theme for like triumphant moments.
Yeah.
And full blown ba ba da ba. Whereas in making Rocky, they had a little kind of subtle motifs of it almost. So a little bit of that would have been nice here, but the Nazis have decided that they're gonna go and do a peek at the Ark. Yeah. So fortunately,
they're having a little chat. Don't you want to have a look at it?
Go on, you have a look.
Before Hitler has a look at it.
Before Hitler has a look. Yeah, he's got a point, like.
Yeah. What if Hitler's disappointed? Like, I probably should have a look.
I don't want to disappoint Hitler, Indy decides he's going to sneak over by nicking a Nazi uniform.
Yeah.
Love that. That's been done a million times.
Yeah.
A nice little dig on it was the fact it doesn't fit him.
It's way too small.
Brilliant. So it's either a tiny Nazi or he's put on a lot of weight, eating all that fattening pirate cuisine. I imagine it's the latter somehow.
He's been staying off the dates and... And there's a cute scene where a Nazi approaches him and is like, "Oh, what have you done? You've not got your uniform
Wo's in dein Hemd?
Sort out your hair."
Habes verloren,
Sort of licks his thumb and rubs his cheek.
Oh, look, you've got slobber all over your face.
Concerned Nazi mum.
So they're very slowly bringing the Ark of Debbie McGee to the altar place.
Yeah.
Taking it very seriously because they're carrying flags. I think mainly because they're they're Warhammer or whatever. Indiana Jones threatens to zook them all.
Yeah, he's been hiding at the back of the queue.
He's hiding at the back of the queue. He's got a big old zook and he's like, "I will blow you all up."
Yeah.
And Bollock is like, "No, you won't."
Well, he's like, I'll blow up the
Ark.
The Ark of Debbie McGee. And that's his power play. So I want the girl. If you don't give me her,
I'll blow it up.
But Bollock knows better than that.
He literally just goes, "No, you won't."
Bollock knows. He does.
Literally. You will in your hole. Like, he's like, "Fuck it."
Completely balls out, calls his bluff. It's like, go on then.
That is 5-star bluff calling right there.
It's great. This calls back to the banter thing. The Bollock's a lot better at this kind of
Bollock
thing.
is a top lad, he is.
Go on then, blow it up, mate. You're an archaeologist. You love this shit.
Yeah. And he got a small dick as well. I think all the Nazis having a grand old time afterwards. Right. So here comes the famous scene of the movie. It's all builds to this point, really.
Sorry, I said something here. I wrote something in my notes that you said I needed to say on this.
Oh yeah.
So Bollock calls the bluff. OT bluff.
OT bluff.
OT bluff. There you go. For everyone at home, OT Bluff.
OT Bluff. Perfect. So it comes to the very important scene, the scene of the movie.
Yeah.
They're finally going to open the Ark.
Indy and Marion have been brought along, tied up, so they can have a look. I think that's kind of a nice gesture from the Nazis.
Isn't
They
it?
don't kill him.
Or maybe such is their, lust to destroy everything.
Yeah.
And have a look at this Ark and right, let's leave him there. We'll have a look.
Yeah. We'll get back to them in a bit. We just need to get this open. Come on.
5 minutes. Okay, it's 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Had you figured out at this point that the face melting and all that stuff that you know from, had you figured out that was going to happen when they opened up the Ark?
Yeah.
How soon into the movie was that apparent?
I knew it would happen at the end. That's
Yeah.
the thing. I could get this sense that the Ark was trouble.
Yeah.
And if the Nazis touched... I thought someone would touch something and then their face would melt.
Yeah.
But that's not what happened.
No, we get ghosts.
If anything, the Ark touched them.
Yeah. No one told me this Ark was haunted. And sadly, the Nazis have to spend a night in the Ark before they can give it to Hitler. And all sorts of spills and chills. And
it's quite a spooky scene anyway.
Very spooky.
The bit where Marion and Indy are tied up, and there's all lightning behind them and stuff. It looks like a school play of like bad thing happening.
Yeah. It's awesome though.
Yeah.
I love this.
And the ghosts, to be fair, are pretty cool.
It looks really good.
Yeah.
Because there's a couple instances in this movie, and there was as well there was as well in Star Wars, with all this remastering that we watched, there were a number of times we kind of went, well, that's kind of hokey now.
Yeah.
But this movie probably had just as many, and we watched an untouched version, we watched just regular, straight up Raiders, Yeah. And this scene looks phenomenal.
Yeah,
the ghosts look
still
phenomenal.
looks good, yeah.
All the rays that shoot out look phenomenal. The face melting.
It's
Come on.
a shame though, because Marion has been told not to look. So
I feel bad. Neither we could see this.
She misses the fireworks. Yeah.
One time you get to see a Nazi's face melting.
Yeah.
You know that comes along once in a lifetime.
I thought just creepy Nazi, his face would melt, but also other Nazi, his face melts.
Yeah.
And then Bollock, which I didn't see this coming, his face explodes. And
how ironic. After a lifetime of being an archaeologist, his head exploded.
Oh man, his mind was blown by
Literally.
what he discovered in there.
Mind-blowing stuff, like.
I didn't expect that, and it made me laugh a lot. Like a lot.
Yeah,
that man's head blowing up.
It was
fun. The Nazi face melting, I was like, ugh.
That is gross. The head blowing up.
gross.
Particularly because the head blows up and this giant fireball starts wrapping around and shoots up into the sky. I'm just thinking, that's me 2 nights ago when I had that very spicy curry.
Hey.
Like a big ball of fire gas melting everyone's face, Thankfully, I closed my eyes, so I wasn't,
I didn't see the ghosts.
Fine, I didn't see any of the ghosts.
Curry ghosts
that came from my bowels, So we go back to the good old US of A, where those top army brass, those bloody bureaucrats with their Obamacare and all that, because of Obamacare and all that, the loony left, they've locked it up and say there's top men looking after the Ark.
Top men. And that's that.
Top men.
Indy just walks out and goes, fools. Bureaucratic fools.
He lets it go fairly.
Yeah.
He's like, I've been beat.
It doesn't get to go to my museum, or the museum. He doesn't get what he wants, but he's fine because he's got Marion, hasn't he?
I will say though, right, and this actually kind of was quite a souring experience.
Yeah.
Marion shows up, and because Marion's been fucking kidnapped and all, it's so nice to actually just see her to be like, hello, I'm fine now.
It's weird seeing her not in danger.
Yeah. Marion shows up and it's like, oh great, Marion and Indy, maybe this will happen. She's like, come on, let's go get a drink. And fucking hell, the most begrudging man ever. Like, oh fine, I'll go have a drink with you. Yeah. Han Solo over here,
they don't ham up the romance much at all.
It is, if possible, it's less romantic. It's both less romantic, but as a result, because they're not trying to be romantic, cough cough, Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
I don't want to see Spielberg and Lucas try and make Harrison Ford. So
yeah.
Overall, rewatched because it's the first time I've seen this in a while.
So the Ark of Devon McGee that gets put in the Amazon warehouse. That's the end of
the big filing cabinet, basically
it's stocked away,
waiting for someone to order it, and it can be shipped out in time. I love that ending.
Yeah, that's a great ending.
It's real kind of and it zooms out and it's like, ooh, what's in those other boxes? You know, that's a nice question mark at the end of your movie.
Yeah.
And that's like that's really fondly remembered as well. This is the first time I watched this in a long time.
Okay.
And yeah, I don't know. Varian being useless pissed me off. But this aired more towards the Jaw side of things, which was my main complaint was that like there was like no, you know, there were like no women or whatever, and that she was in it just for those purposes, as opposed to fucking, you know, Empire or whatever, where like every interaction between man and woman seemed to have some fucking troubling connotation with it. Like. But overall, I still really enjoyed this. I will say though that a lot of these movies we watched, I've still kind of gotten that childhood thrill from it.
Yeah.
I don't see myself going to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark anytime soon after this. I don't know. It was weird.
Yeah.
Maybe I was a little disappointed in that I thought that this would be like another, you know, Rocky or Terminator or Jaws, where you'd be all like, yeah, but you didn't seem to have that. So I was wondering, you know, what your overall thoughts were. Having going through all this, what was there anything that kind of stopped this from being, you know, because this is considered to be the best action movie ever.
Okay.
Widely considered.
Is like adventure movie or like
adventure? Yeah, not action. Adventure is probably a better way to describe it. Yeah, but it's considered to be, you know, young and old alike.
I guess it probably is. It's well paced. You know, it's
you got great action in there.
Yeah,
you know, witty dialogue, loads of like legitimate actual laughs.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah,
where they've made you laugh on
some
purpose.
Of them deliberate. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly. Some of them very much not deliberate.
Some of them not, but a lot of them were. You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
but I still don't have that giddy thrill from it, and I'm trying to be like, well, this was good, but on a very basic level, of my enjoyment of the film, it wasn't up there with some of the.
Do you think watching Indy 4 maybe it spoiled this for you in any way?
Maybe, I don't know.
Because I don't know if Indy 4 had any bearing on this for you.
Not really, no.
Because you see what Indy 4 was going for, having watched this.
Yeah, but it still felt like kind of unexplored territory for me, like it's in. Yeah. So I guess.
Did you like it?
Yeah.
You didn't love it?
No. That's the thing.
Yeah.
I think I'm a Chaplin through and through because I think my dad has the same response. That, you know, they're all right, but not. Yeah. You wouldn't want to.
You know, it's interesting. I think it is one of those movies that has like a very strong. Like, people get very defensive about
that's why
Raiders.
I'm now very scared because we had so many people in the comments for the vote on this going, Raiders, it's just Raiders, do Raiders.
And it didn't blow you away.
No. So
that's really interesting.
I feel a little bit guilty, but I can't, like...
You can.
I can't make myself enjoy it more than I did. I liked it, it was good.
Because, you know, some of a scientist, you know, and in that respect, I like to try and keep the conditions the same for these movies, you know. We usually have, you know, the same setup. We watch them similar times of the week, similar time, you know, times during the day or whatever.
It doesn't feel like anything's been done differently.
Yeah. You know, I meticulously make sure that everything in your life is going a certain way, so that you'll feel a certain way. But didn't blow you away.
Oh, that's why my life is like that. No, it didn't. It didn't.
What was your favourite thing about it?
Probably the scene with the drinking contest.
Yeah.
Or the Nazi monkey.
For me, it seems like
there's moments. There's really like strong moments. Or the big sword swinging around and then.
See, for me, I think you the bits you liked the most was the humour.
Yeah.
What about the action though? Was that?
Yeah. You know, like there's little moments that I really loved.
But I think what's interesting is that because this movie came out in 1981.
Yeah.
And I think so much has been done since
that is taken from that.
Because I mean, we're not. You know, your scenario is guy going after Nazis.
Yeah.
You know, there's not a lot of.
Well, it's guy trying to get a thing. And there's also another party trying to get the thing.
But the means which is doing it's all conventional. It's, you know, it's cars and guns. It's World War II era.
And there's a girl as well.
Yeah, so it's not as if, you know, it feels like it's ground that has been probably trodden on a million times over for you. In movies since.
Yeah.
So maybe it kind of.
This might be why when I started trying to listen to the Smiths for the first time, it wasn't that impressive to me.
There is a wrestling analogy, if you'll forgive me. Right,
yeah, that's fine.
You know, in wrestling, if you're not a fan, there's these things called ladder matches where you have to climb the ladder and win the match. And it's like, it's really, you know. If you watch a ladder match from like the last year or two,
Yeah.
you'll see all sorts of thrills, spills, and chills, crazy shit happening non-stop. You know, whoa, unbelievable.
Yeah.
And it will probably blow your mind in many respects.
Okay.
If you were to go back and watch like the first ladder match,
Right.
which any wrestling fan will tell you, no, that is the best ladder match from like it was like WrestleMania 10, so it's like 21 years ago.
Right.
Right. If you watch that now, you probably after seeing something like that, you'd be like,
That's all right. Yeah.
because it's still spectacular, but the things which they're doing
Yeah.
there have been done to extremes. Not saying they've been done better, but they've been done to extremes. I think maybe that's
Yeah.
what happened here. I'm not,
Possibly.
Possibly.
That's the thing I found with like music and stuff that people say you should like this band, but then I'm like I've listened to bands that have taken bits from that and used them in their own way, and I've become used to that. And now seeing it in its kind of concentrated form is kind of like, well, it's not. I'm not into it.
Harrison Ford. What do you
Yeah.
reckon now? You've seen like their two biggest roles, Han Solo and
They're quite similar.
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I've not seen much...
Indy's less of a prick.
Yeah, but
Indy's
he's still a
Indy's-
bit of a prick.
He's a bit of a prick, but he's generally a nicer guy.
Yeah,
I
but
think so.
they feel like very similar characters in terms of who they are and how they.
Who do you prefer?
act. I prefer Indy
Why?
because Han Solo's a prick. Just a dickhead.
Well, that's that's
Yeah.
really interesting. Definitely. No, I don't know. This is one which I'm going to ask people to help us figure out. Maybe
Yeah.
Kind of.
Don't be angry at me, please, listeners.
Oh, I don't think anyone's a right to be angry. It's your
Okay.
opinion on a
Yeah,
film.
I know.
So I mean, that's the whole point. I mean, this
Yeah.
podcast would be boring if everyone we watched back would, you loved every single one of them.
Yeah, that's true.
So Hollywood's had some hits and misses for you.
Yeah.
This one was not a hit.
No, not entirely.
How many star wipes?
I want to say 3.
You heard it here first.